Today, the universe is speaking directly to you. Do you know that person who's been on your mind? The one who makes your heart race, but also leaves you feeling confused, lost? Yes, that person. Today, your guardian angel has brought a powerful message about them. It seems there's an energetic mix between you two, a blend of intense desire and painful distance. Do you feel it? The longing to be close, yet a fear of getting too close at the same time? This person feels you, senses your presence, and is struggling against this magnetism, this almost impossible to ignore force. And you know what I'm talking about, don't you? Want to find out what the universe is trying to tell you about this today? Then, stay with me until the end. If this person were truly transparent with you, they'd tell you that there are aspects of this connection that make them feel more alive, stronger, but also make them hesitant. They're beginning to realize that your energy has a unique vibration, different from anything they've ever experienced, and this creates a mix of fascination and discomfort. They feel like they're in a sort of will they, won't they game, an unknown territory where their emotions swing between excitement and doubt. And this uncertainty, subtle as it may seem, is becoming increasingly evident. You know when everything seems to be going well, but suddenly something seems to hold back, like an invisible barrier? That's exactly what they're feeling right now. It's not that they don't want to dive deeper into the relationship. In fact, they do very much. But at the same time, they're trying to understand what's so different about you, what makes you so special, so out of the ordinary. And this natural curiosity of theirs mixes with a silent apprehension. They have the impression that you keep a part of yourself locked away, reserved, as if you're protecting something very valuable. And that's what makes them wonder if they really have a place in your world, if there's truly room for them there. They might be waiting for a small sign, a gesture, a word that indicates you're willing to open up for real, without masks, without fear. And it's exactly this combination of mystery and resistance that makes them so involved yet so insecure. There's a strong, almost magnetic connection happening between you two, something that stirs both the mind and the heart. But lately, it seems like something has changed, perhaps an adjustment in the energy flowing between you. This change is subtle, almost imperceptible, but it's there, influencing the way you interact, affecting the dynamic in a way that you might not have noticed yet, but which can be felt in the undertones of every exchange, every look. If you've been thinking about this, know that right now, you're seen as someone they need to understand better before taking the next step. It's as if they feel that getting closer to you could make something big happen, something that could change the course of their life forever. This might be exactly what they want, a deep desire to dive into the mystery that is you, but at the same time, this change comes with uncertainties, with an almost natural fear of the unknown. They see you as someone who has the power to transform their reality, and that idea is both exciting and a little frightening. There's something fascinating about you, something that makes them want more, to explore every detail, to uncover every secret. But for them, there's also that hesitation, that natural caution of someone who knows that once the leap is taken, there's no going back. It's a mix of excitement and caution, a blend of desire and fear of what might come next. You represent a kind of enigma, a transformative force that in some way, they feel they cannot ignore. And it's precisely this uncertainty, this sense of walking on unknown ground, that makes them want to go slower, to look for signs, for guarantees that might never come, because life is made of risks, of leaps into the unknown. What matters is how they decide to handle this feeling, whether they let fear dictate their actions or embrace the possibility of something grand happening. They're at a point where their feelings and internal perceptions of you are blending, creating a mess of emotions that they can't ignore. There's something about you that makes them think, that makes them question. And even without wanting to, they find themselves trying to understand what your true role is in their life. That's where things start to get complicated, because your way of seeing this relationship is completely different from theirs. And in their mind, this becomes a huge challenge. From their perspective, it's hard not to pay attention to what's happening in reality, to what they can see, hear, and touch. But at the same time, they feel something very strong, deep down, an internal confirmation about your connection, something that goes beyond what's happening around them. And it's as if somehow, you started all of this, took the first step to stir their mind and heart. But as interesting as it may be, you feel exactly the same. It seems like you two are dancing to the same tune, without even realizing it. And now, at this very moment, maybe you're both full of questions about what's to come. What's going to happen next? Everything seems to be unfolding in a way that no one expected, as if life had decided to take an unexpected turn and take this connection to another level. And that makes you think, makes you imagine. Because there's a change happening. You're going to notice that they see you differently, that something in them has changed in relation to you. This connection, which seemed calm and unhurried, suddenly starts to gain speed, starts to become more intense in the real world. And that intuitive feeling, that hunch that you both feel, starts to drive the relationship with more force. You feel it, don't you? That energy, that feeling that something is growing, evolving, taking shape. And it's affecting them in a way they never imagined. If you're feeling like that person has vanished, like things are a bit strange, as if they've disappeared off the map, that's exactly what's happening. It's not just that they can't talk to you right now. They also feel, in some way, that it's better to keep some distance at this moment. It's as if something inside them is telling them they need space, maybe even because of you, so that things can calm down, so they can understand what's going on. What's happening is that, in the midst of all this, they're going through a sort of awakening. But this awakening is different. It's something that's making them pause in the middle of the road. They feel that something inside them is changing so intensely that it can't be ignored, you know? It's like they're becoming someone else. When these things happen, it's not just an internal change, something you feel inside and that's it. No. It affects everything, the way they see the world, the decisions they make, the way they relate to those around them. And this transformation, this kind of awakening, comes with choices that seem inevitable. Once they understand what's happening, what they're really feeling, it's as if they can't go back. They can't pretend that nothing has changed. And then, every little piece of their life needs to adjust to this new reality. Maybe that's why they're waiting to get involved with you again. They know that when this kind of thing happens, when you go through an awakening like this, everything around you needs to be reevaluated. Everything must be reconsidered. If you've been feeling a kind of electricity in the air, a sensation that something big is about to happen in the coming weeks or months, this could mean that the bond between you and this person is much deeper than it seems. Maybe you haven't noticed it yet, but something inside them is awakening in such an intense way, stirring their emotions, their thoughts, their mind. This energy is so powerful that it makes them unable to stop thinking about you too, about the possibilities, about what lies ahead. It's like they're trying to understand if this feeling pushes them forward or makes them step back, but one thing you can be sure of, something is going to change. Things won't continue the way they are now. This change will depend a lot on how they handle all of this, on how their emotions unfold, on what they decide to do with the new perceptions they're having about you. Because, in some way, it's like this person called the situation to themselves. Maybe they're seeking clarity to understand what's between the two of you, what's behind this connection that somehow stirs them so much. And then you might be wondering, what will they do? What will be the next step? It seems that they themselves are in a dilemma, looking for answers, trying to understand where this connection is leading. And the curious thing is that this answer isn't anywhere else, but between the two of you. There's a fundamental answer that they've been searching for so long that is directly connected to you. So if you're feeling like something is in the air, as if there's a different energy around, pay attention. This person is in a moment of discovery, and what they do next could change everything. They're emotionally involved, invested, and it's like they're starting to question your future together, how this story will unfold from now on. It could be that everything depends on one move, one decision, one choice that is yet to be made. There's something about this connection that doesn't quite fit into the patterns we're used to. It seems like there's an energy that's impossible to ignore, a kind of tension, almost as if the feelings were waves that come and go. This person seems to be stuck in this cycle of trying to understand what they're really feeling, and you can see that through the mixed signals they give. Sometimes they come closer, sometimes they pull away, and this fluctuation ends up creating an uncertainty that's frustrating for you. But maybe, on the other side, there's an even bigger internal battle than you can imagine. The truth is that this person thinks about you much more than they show. It could be that they're always trying to put the pieces of an emotional puzzle together, one that, so far, they haven't been able to solve. It's not easy for them, because this connection deeply stirs what they feel, and what they believed they knew about themselves. There's something in them that's being revealed, something that was hidden before, something they never thought they'd have to face, and that's exactly what's happening now. They're awakening to these intense feelings, to this reality that until now, perhaps they have avoided or ignored. This person may seem distant, but that might simply be because they're trying to understand all this alone, in their own way, in their own time. This awakening is happening in the core of their heart, and it makes them extremely vulnerable. It might be scary for them, realizing how much they care, how much they feel, how much they're connected to you. And that's exactly why they might pull away, because it's a lot to process, it's too intense. So if they haven't come closer yet, it's not because they don't feel something for you, but because they're trying to find balance in this emotional roller coaster. The distance, in this case, isn't a lack of interest, but a desperate attempt to organize the internal chaos that this connection has caused. So even if you don't understand all the reasons behind their actions, know that inside they're going through an awakening, a deep understanding of what they feel and how these feelings affect them. This person, deep down, knows there's something special between you two. Maybe they're not ready to admit it out loud, or even to themselves, but this process is happening, even if slowly. And while they try to understand all of this, maybe the best thing to do is to let time do its work, because somehow, this person is thinking of you much more than they show. What surprised you is realizing that you came into their life as a kind of answer to something they've been facing in their previous relationships. When we talk about love, we're dealing with the most powerful energy that exists, that vibration that truly moves the world. But at the same time, we know that love can be perceived in very different ways. There's a lower version of this energy, which isn't love itself, but rather how it is seen and interpreted by people, each in their own way. And what's clear is that this person brought a darker side of themselves to your connection, perhaps even projected it onto you, and that's why it seems to be overflowing in this relationship. What makes all the difference is how you handle them, how you interact, how you behave during this period when you're apart or even when you're together, talking. All of this is confirming important things, not just about you, but about the very energy that surrounds this connection. You can see that this person is going through an intense transformation, from the inside out, because of what you're experiencing. It's as if your presence is changing the way they see the world, and this has illuminated the energy of this connection in a unique way. They're considering things they never did before meeting you. It's almost like you're a key piece, helping them unlock parts of their mind that no one else has been able to before, and now they're wondering what comes next. You may not have even realized this, maybe because of the time, the distance, or the space between you. But this connection is becoming something very symbolic for them, something they're still trying to fully understand. It's like a journey they need to walk alone, without your direct presence. This is extremely important for them, because somehow they don't want this energy, this process, to end up affecting what you have. It's like they're in repair mode, trying to fix things within themselves before bringing it into your relationship. It seems like a process, step by step, and they feel they need to deal with certain things on their own before deciding how to move forward with you and take this connection to the next level. Maybe you're wondering what their next move will be, what they really want, or if this distancing is something permanent. But what seems to be happening is that they're in a process of deep reflection and self-discovery, trying to understand how this connection can evolve without repeating past mistakes. There's an energy of uncertainty and surprise when it comes to you, something that sparks curiosity and makes this person look at you differently. From the beginning, they saw their relationships as the only place in life where they had absolute control, where they really felt in command. For them, this area has always been where they were certain they could decide whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted, and however they wanted. They believed that relationships were the territory where they had the power of choice, of making all the decisions. And look, if you see yourself in this point, you can already write Amen in the comments, because today's message is just beginning. Moving forward, the fact is that this person always felt they had the upper hand in this game, that they knew very well how to handle the field of feelings, always aware of their power of choice. But since you appeared, everything started to change. They were caught by surprise, not even knowing where this came from. They never expected someone like you to turn their world upside down. And the most intriguing thing of all is that what they're feeling now isn't a result of something you did or said directly. No, what they're experiencing is the pure and simple consequence of being connected to you. This change, this awakening they're feeling inside their heart, is a completely different process from anything they've ever experienced. They feel exposed, vulnerable, like never before. And interestingly, it's not something planned, it's not something they could foresee. It's as if you activated something in them, something they never even knew existed. This opening of the heart, this awakening to new possibilities, is something that's deeply affecting them. They thought they knew it all, that they had everything under control, but now being close to you, they realize they have a lot to learn. They're discovering that the heart is a far more complex space than they imagined. For this person, it feels like the space of the heart is expanding, as if there's a real opening, a release of something deep. When the energy begins to rise and reach the heart, it seems that the ego, that old controlling friend, starts to dissolve. The identity that was once clear and solid begins to change, as if the heart takes on a life of its own, becoming more receptive and open to all that is love. But for this person, it's an experience that defies any expectation. It's not the typical feeling of warm and gentle embrace that many talk about. It's an experience full of contrasts, almost an internal confrontation. It's as if, at the same time the heart opens, it closes to what doesn't resonate with its new frequency. And that can be disconcerting. Suddenly, they start to feel the need to distance themselves from certain people, places, and even things that once seemed so familiar and comfortable. It's as if, in this opening, everything that doesn't align with their truest essence starts to feel strange, distant, even undesirable. This expanding energy can be so intense that even their physical body begins to react, to reject what doesn't vibrate at the same frequency. Maybe you're wondering if this should be a cause for concern, especially when this person is far from you. The answer is no. This is all part of a deeper process, something that goes beyond what we can see or touch. It's as if, for them, everything becomes secondary except the connection with you. All of this will continue until they reach a more stable union, an internal harmony that brings them to a state of constant peace by your side. It's important to understand that this rejection of everything around isn't a distancing from you, but rather a journey of returning to themselves, an adjustment of energies that are realigning for a deeper, more authentic connection. They're, in fact, preparing for a union that goes far beyond what the mind can comprehend, something that only the heart can truly feel and recognize. This transformation, as frightening as it may seem, is a necessary step for true love to blossom. And on this path, everything that no longer serves, everything that is small or limited, will naturally move away. You might think they're handling everything calmly, that things are easy for them, but that's not quite the case. They feel. And they feel even more than it seems because they've been trained not to show their emotions so easily. But it's precisely in these moments of tension, of challenges, that their heart opens in a different way. What really stands out now is how unexpected and full of surprises your connection has been. For them, this awakening and inner growth always started in the physical world, in concrete events, before making sense inside, in the spiritual. And that's why you notice that, in moments of distance, this connection intensifies even more. Maybe you're already receiving an avalanche of signs from them, because for them, there's a great force in absence. It's as if in the absence of the one they trust most to comfort them and to whom they could confide, a whirlwind of feelings arises: frustration, repression, doubt, but mainly anger. And if we look at this from a spiritual perspective, anger is a very potent emotion. Honestly, when it comes to manifesting desires, creating things, using your own energy to bring changes to the real world, anger has a transformative power. It's a spark that accelerates processes, that can make things happen surprisingly fast and unexpectedly. It's like their energy is channeling all this intensity, this lack, this emptiness to build something new, something bigger. So instead of seeing this anger as something negative, how about viewing it as a motor, a push that drives things forward? After all, absence makes the heart feel stronger, makes the universe move in mysterious ways. And who knows, maybe all the strength they feel is, in fact, the most direct path to an even greater transformation between you two. Because when things seem most out of control, that's when the true power begins to act. So if you've been wondering what's really going on in their head, the truth is they're going through a true awakening. One of those experiences that shake everything inside, triggering a series of intense emotions. And that's exactly why they think they need to handle it alone. They realize that the path they're walking is different from yours, and feel that it's part of their own journey to understand it, in their own way. And what's happening now is that, little by little, they've started to see you as someone who's always running away. Their feelings toward you are at an overwhelming intensity at this moment, and that's precisely why they decided to pull away, create this separation. Something you did recently turned the dynamics between you two upside down. From the beginning, you put this person in a position where they had to chase you, and that had a huge impact. From the first moment they crossed your path, they knew you would have a transformative effect on them. But they never imagined how, or when, or why that would happen. To be honest, they believed they were a rock, unchangeable, with their beliefs about relationships and love firmly established. Nothing personal against you, but this reveals a lot about how they view love and connections in general. Now, even if they never admit this to your face, there are many things they simply never felt the need to talk to you about. Things about what they expected, about what both of you expected from this connection. They truly believed you would follow the path they were charting, without question. But what happened was exactly the opposite. You challenged them, made them start questioning themselves, their own feelings and thoughts. And then came the big turning point. They began to wonder what exactly made you pull away. What is it about them that caused your reaction? This left them so confused that they made room to listen to outside opinions, something they probably never imagined they would do. They sought advice, tried to understand what was happening with them, and of course with you too. You noticed it, right? This person came into your life, and suddenly everything changed. It wasn't just a regular connection, it was something much deeper, almost visceral. When you came across their energy, their way of being, your instinct for protection was activated, as if you needed to guard your heart against something that was both scary and irresistible at the same time. They noticed, yes. They noticed your way, your manner of closing off a bit, maybe because of a fear of giving too much, of showing something that's kept under lock and key. And that intrigued them because they started to realize that maybe you aren't exactly who they thought you were. They found themselves thinking, is he like this with everyone? Or is there something about me that made him act this way? The fact is, against all expectations, you made them feel something different, something they didn't expect to feel. And that made them reconsider many things. Because before you, they handled connections in an almost automatic way, you know? A pattern of behavior they didn't even realize they were following. But with you, everything was turned upside down. Suddenly, what seemed certain became doubt. You might not even believe how this person, at some point in the past, started looking for you with such intensity. It's as if, all of a sudden, they realized they needed to understand what they felt, what was going on inside them. But something made them stop, take a step back. And look, that wasn't by chance. Not at all. This person is beginning to awaken, to realize that what you have is very different from anything they've ever experienced. All of this is touching deep into their heart, activating feelings that they may have never experienced before. Now imagine this. They start to see you in a completely new way. Not just as someone they connected with, but as a soul that speaks directly to theirs. And it's in this moment of separation, of distance, that everything seems to be becoming clear to them. As if a light were shining and showing the truth that was there all along, but they couldn't see. Being close to you, connecting with your energy, has brought so many things to the surface for them. Sometimes it might have even caused some resistance, that fear of the unknown, of what is too strong. But now, everything is making sense to them in a much deeper way. They're realizing that what you two have is rare, it's special, it's like two souls meeting and recognizing each other after a long time. And that's where the magic lies. This phase you're going through is not just a coincidence or a fluke of destiny. It's almost as if the universe is confirming to this person, in every possible way, what they already felt deep down. Because they know somehow that the dynamics between you are powerful, that this connection has a meaning that goes beyond what the eyes can see or what the mind can understand in a rational way. So if you're feeling this energy, this whirlwind of emotions, know that on the other side there's also someone feeling all of this. Maybe even more intensely. Because when two souls meet in this way, you can't deny the strength of this encounter. It's as if every piece of the puzzle is fitting perfectly, and what seemed confusing or uncertain suddenly gains all the clarity in the world. From the very first moment, that person felt something different in the energy you transmit. Now, they're starting to realize what's really happening inside their own heart. They understand that they can plant seeds and make you act in ways that perhaps even you don't expect. This happens almost effortlessly because you are, indeed, very different. And because of that, it's natural for you to easily absorb the emotions around you, especially when the heart is involved. This person knows how risky it is for you to open your heart because when that happens, you tend to give a lot of yourself to the other person. And if this connection isn't with the right person, the impact on your life can be huge. The fact that you pulled away made this person start reflecting on themselves. The emotions you stirred in them were intense, and it's precisely this intensity that allowed for this self-reflection. If there hadn't been such a strong chemistry between you two, this reflection probably wouldn't have even happened. Now this person realizes that you did something that few can do. You changed the dynamic of the connection between you two. If at some point you wondered what this person really thinks about you, here's the answer. They see you as someone unique. You stand out. And perhaps most importantly, they now understand that you possess a rare emotional intelligence. They know that love is a sensitive point for many, but the fact that you keep your guard up doesn't push them away. On the contrary, it draws them in even more. Emotional intelligence is an extremely attractive quality, and it's making this person more and more determined to approach you in a deeper way. It seems like there's a promise of a new beginning in the air, something unexpected, either in this specific connection or in relation to love in your life in general. If you're holding on to any negative emotions, this is the message your angels want you to hear. If you decide to release what you're holding on to, something better will come to fill that space, something that will fit perfectly into your life. This message was for you. Does it make sense for your situation? If so, leave your comment. I only accept the love that does me good. Allow your spirit to absorb these words and feel them resonate deeply within you. The universe wants the best for you and will ensure a positive outcome, no matter what your choice may be. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe right now and stay tuned for the important message awaiting you in the next video. May God and the universe illuminate your path with peace, love, and faith. Amen.